Hello. Right. Okay, so today the video might be a little bit different because okay, fair enough. This is a bit of a journey. So it's a little bit about Zakopane, it's a little bit about the Tatra mountains, a little bit about Slovakia. Maybe not going into an insane amount of detail for these places, but it's about the trip that I took. So this was back in October, I think, roughly a year on since I actually first went to the Tatra Mountains. But let's start. So basically we got a Flixbus, wonderful company Flixbus when they decided to operate, from Warsaw down to Zakopane. And it was about 7 hours, 8 hours roughly. The price was about 12 euros or something like that for one way. And typically I think there were one or two journeys that leave Warsaw a day. So we went down the country through Radom, Krakow, and ending up down in Zakopane. And this, even though I'd been to Tatra last year, this was actually my first time in Zakopane, so I was actually quite excited because it's quite famous, everyone talks about it, so I wanted to know a bit more about this place. So I made sure to walk around, have a good look. It's actually not really that old as a city in Poland. It was originally some shepherd settlements, back in the 16th century. In the kind of 17th century, a small village was put up there. There were about 40 odd people living there, so it wasn't really that big. And around the kind of 1880s, it started to pick up a bit of notoriety, and it was promoted as a like a spa town, a resort town, and it's like, go there because of the healing properties of the air, and that kind of thing. And round about the same sort of time, people were starting to invest in the place, as a tourist site. So they started to establish like the trails, to think about the conservation of the natural area. Because the thing to know about Zakopane is it's it's in the Tatra Mountains, big, one of Poland's craziest mountain ranges, on the border of Slovakia, and so they established this this kind of town there, and during World War II it was kind of like a conduit between Hungary and Poland apparently, and there were all kinds of like Gestapo, torture chambers and things like that, and it doesn't sound particularly nice. But what was it like when I went there? So, we got off the bus and, we found this kind of eatery. We got there very early, I think at about 6 or 7 in the morning on the first day. And this eatery was just starting to open, so I grabbed myself a hot wine because of course it's a bit colder in the mountains, and a bit of breakfast. We found kind of a nice bit of accommodation. We just needed a kind of a room, so that my girlfriend could work and I could, just have somewhere. And I walked around. I mean, it's not that big to start off with. It's very modern as well in a way. It's kind of weird. It's like faux historic. Like all the buildings, they look like they're in this kind of old style, and it's like, oh look, kind of mountain lodges style, but they all feel like they're very new. So I have to be honest, I really got the impression that it was a bit of a tourist trap, and apparently like I think over 2 million tourists visit a year, which isn't surprising really because of all the mountain trails. You have a lot of mountain trails there, and this is the primary reason people will go there, say during the summer. During the winter, people go for the skiing, and it's held a number of like, you know, skiing World Cups and things like that. So it's, you know, very famous for that. It has had some bids for the Winter Olympics, which haven't been successful yet, but you know, maybe one day. Yeah, and like it had a weird kind of upside down house at one point, which I was a bit surprised by. It had a, you know, a few nice parks, you know, like a shopping street with a few bars and things like that. You know, so yeah, I have to be honest, you know, the place itself, compared to the other places I've been in Poland, didn't really stand out. I was a little bit disappointed, but you know, I still think it's worth seeing it, you know, to get the full flavour of Poland. I have been to another mountain town, which I think is a lot more authentic, but there will be a future video on that. So look forward to Carpatch. So I will say a little bit why we were going there. So we actually, last year in 2019, I went to Morskie Oku, which is like the eye of the sea. It's like a big lake, you know, up in one of the mountains, and it is probably one of the most popular tourist resorts, tourist trails. You know, you have a kind of a nice winding trail going up the mountain to get there. You can take some shortcuts up some steeper stairs, but it's a very, very easy journey. And you know, there's a car park right by it. And then if you get there, there's like a bar and stuff, and you can go even higher to somewhere I've forgotten the name of. I think it's something like the Devil's Eye or something like that, but it's probably not, because I haven't been able to find that online, so I've probably completely forgotten the name. If anyone wants to write it in the comments, thank you for reminding me, because I couldn't find it online when I was searching. But actually no, that particular trail is not the reason we went. But before I go on to the reason that we went, sorry, one thing I forgot to mention. One thing you will see in Zakopane are horses, and sadly you will see these horses carrying rather large carts on their back, and these carts are basically used to transport tourists up to the top, those who are too lazy to walk, or, you know, heaven forbid, perhaps aren't able to walk the journey. Now, you know, I don't know how much they cost. You will certainly never catch me taking one of these, because from what I hear, the horses, they're not in the best of states. You've actually had them die from exhaustion on the trail, and I think it's, you know, it's a very sad practice. Everyone I've, you know, maybe some people correct me here, but everyone I've spoken to is appalled by this practice, but it seems to be quite common. So sorry, just wanted to mention that. But sorry, back to the point. So why were we on this trip? So we were on this trip to actually go to Slovakia, and I'm just going to show you a little clip, you know, so cut in to talk about that. But basically we found a bus, and we were able to go. So just wait for the clip. So we're now leaving Zakopane. I went on a mission this morning. So Agata was working, and so I had to find some euros, find a map, work out where the bus is, because we're on our way to Slovakia. Where are we going in Slovakia? Okay, we'll see if people hear that. So
we still have a long road ahead of us anyway.
Indeed. So today we're just gonna get to our destination, have some beer, and I get to be the hero, kind of.
Yeah, debatable.
So, wish us luck. Hope you enjoyed the on-site commentary there. So, yeah, we're on this bus, and it takes a long, winding way around. But what I probably didn't mention on the video is that particular bus actually takes us to Zakopane. And that is where the border crossing is. And at the time, we were able to just literally get off the bus, walk across the border to the other side, and we found some shops. And so we got a couple of beers to sit and drink with in the sun. And then we got another bus. And this second bus was the one that was taking us to Stary Smolkowiec. And it took about an hour. God, the drivers seemed to be stopping a lot, chatting to people on the road and stuff. And we were like, my God, really? Does it have to take this long? At one point, I had to admit I fell asleep on the seat, and it took a bit of a sharp turn, and I went flying to the floor of the bus, which was fun. You know, lots of people were like, you know, I was fine. I'm pretty immune to falls and things generally. Haven't broken a bone yet, touch wood. And this is basically our journey into Slovakia. And this town was very nice. It's a resort town, you know, so you get the impression that, yeah, of course people live there, but not many people. There were a lot of hotels there, like a few shops, but they seemed like the shops seemed to close at like 7. I don't know if it was, you know, some kind of COVID curfew, or perhaps maybe just because we were out of season or whatever. We went to a few bars there. We found a really nice restaurant one night. You know, we got this amazing accommodation with an incredible view of, you know, some of the mountains and things. And oh God, yeah, it was a lovely place. I have to admit, I preferred it to Zakopane. It just had a bit more of a slightly authentic feel, even though it's a lot of it felt quite modern. And we mainly went there to go into the Tatras from the Slovakian side, and it was a bit of a trek. So we, from where we were staying, you kind of go to, I think it's east to the right, and you have this like kind of main entryway going up. So we just followed it, and we sort of just took the paths up. And there was a little bit of a, you know, slightly steep climb up a hill to get to, you know, the first shelter, which is like a big ski resort there. Lots of bears, but you know, it was pretty tiring to get just that first step. And then what we went through the trail, you know, there weren't that many trails from this side, so we just mainly kind of stuck to the sort of the main ones. And there were some lovely views, you know, like you know, raised paths above woodland, you know, mountains, waterfalls, the whole lot, you know. And this trail kind of went around for ages. Okay, so right now we've made it to the mountain. In fact, we've walked several hours into the mountain. We just had a nice beer stop, a little bit of tea with a little bit of flavoured vodka, just to give us a bit of strength for the rest of the journey. Seeing a lot of lovely sights, as you'll see in the pictures and random videos. It's been fun. Tiring, yes, but not horrendous, you know.
No, not at all. If you heard him on this trail, you would know that he's bullshitting now.
It's fine. We're doing well.
Quack, quack.
Having fun, you know, haven't fallen over once, so it's been close. But we're getting there.
Oh, no.
And then it started to get like a bit rockier, you know, as we went up, and it's like, oh my God. And it kept going and going and going, and it's like, oh my God, like, when's it gonna end? You know, then it went through another like forested section, and eventually we got close to the summit. And then I, you know, like, okay, so I'll have some cut-ins with this video, but wow. Okay, I'll do the first cut-in now. Okay, so I don't know if you can see the specks that are walking, but this is near the end of our trail, and suddenly it gets very steep very quickly. There is a lodge up there somewhere, We've seen it from a distance, we know it's there. But now we have to survive this.
He has to survive this, I'm fine. I had to, sorry, I had.
So if you're getting this video, as you can see, we're in heaven now.
Oh, we can see something.
So unfortunately we didn't make it. I think we slipped somewhere on the trail. It's quite tragic, really. So please do send some kind of memoriam. Or otherwise, no, we did make it. And we
Made it.
yes, we made it. And you know, we've just survived the trek up.
Which basically consists of like rocks, one rock on the other that you need to kind of climb. But it's not crazy, but you will feel your legs after that.
Oh god, yeah.
Even if you're quite fit, you will feel your legs after that.
Oh god, yeah, it's insane. But you know, unfortunately, the cloud came in pretty much on our way up.
I mean, the moment that we came here, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
It just got all white, as you can also see behind us.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, but still, we made it.
And
You
you
know.
kind of see something. If we
Yeah,
like
okay,
like that, yeah.
okay.
Something. It's all much better when it's, of course, when it's just sunny. But
Yeah, we had a beer and then some hot wine,
oh yes, hot wine was wonderful.
and now we just need to survive the journey
Back.
down,
Oh boy.
which hopefully we can do in this cloud. I'm sure it'll be okay.
Yeah, we have like head torches, so if the visibility is next to nothing, I guess we will survive somehow.
All right, well, hopefully we'll be able to continue this. If not, well, you know what happened.
Come on, it's not that extreme.
We'll see.
As you can see, we see less and less. When it comes to uniqueness.
But just to confirm, even after that crazy climb and the annoying cloud that popped up at the end, we're alive. We made it down, you know, safely enough. In fact, there should be some nice footage of me going like a mountain goat heading down. Going down was no problem for me. Going up was a fucking nightmare. So one thing we found when we got to the bottom is actually there was a much easier path to actually get up to, you know, that first resort, because there's like a lift, like a train, whatever you want to call it, but it was out of service at the time we went. But there's a path that basically runs to the right of this, and we'd gone to the left of it. So if we'd gone a little bit further, it would have been a bit of a smoother ascent at the beginning, so that's worth noting. But yeah, you know, we made it back utterly kind of exhausted by the end of it. I mean, you know, I have to admit, I love climbing, I love walking, but you know, I'm still very much an amateur. And then of course we went around Zakopane a little bit on our last night, and there was some snow. It's like, well, first snow of this winter. It's the only snow I've seen so far this winter, but you know, from what they're saying, we might expect a very cold winter in Poland this year, so we'll see what happens with that. If I'm in Poland, we'll see. But yeah, no, thank you for watching. I mean, yeah, so we took the, you know, just to confirm, we took the Flixbus back to Warsaw in the end. But thank you for watching. You know, please do like and subscribe to the video. You know, more mountain adventures to follow. You know, definitely plenty of mountains to explore, you know, around the outskirts of Poland, in the south and the east and the west, west, you know. And yeah, just more and more of this country to discover. So again, thank you for watching. Again, wasn't perhaps the most fact-filled video, more of a scenic journey, but I hope you enjoy. Take care.